Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? Happy Thursday. I hope you guys are doing really well. I have been traveling a lot this week. I am just getting home, so I am exhausted, but I am hoping that I can tell you about all of the reading that I have been getting done eventually. But today's video is Read and Review number 20. 3 more books that I have read in 2019, 3 more books that I am really excited to tell you guys about and cannot wait to get them on your TBR. So let's see what they are. If you can't, make sure that your library gets the copies for you guys so that you guys can read them as soon as possible. So yeah, definitely excited to tell you guys about these. And it's quite an eclectic mix, very different books. The first one we're going to start with is a short story novella, and that is Gods, Monsters, and the Lucky Peach by Kelly Robson, and this is out from Tor. I actually bought this at the book bin in Corvallis, Oregon, when I went to see Kate Hope Day speak regarding her book, If Then, which is another book I highly recommend. I love myself a good Tor novella. They just are so excellent. So this is the story. I don't even really know how to explain this, but this is really the story of Min. We are in 2267 and the earth was basically catastrophically destroyed and people moved underground. And they are just now starting to try to come up to the surface of the earth and reinvent it, for lack of a better term, so people can resettle on the surface of the earth. And Min is one of those people that has come up and she has been doing the work to get the plant life and the water and all of that stuff inhabitable. What's the word I'm looking for? There. She's getting it ready for people, and people do live up there, but it's not, the whole population hasn't moved forward. One cool thing about Min is that she is artificially altered so that she actually has sort of 6 octopus legs that she uses for many different things. And we learn a lot about how that came to be and how humanity has evolved and sort of the issues that they have. This book is one of those science fiction books that does a really good job of inventing a world that you can kind of see our future becoming if we're not careful. But what really the plot of this book is there's a company that has invented time travel, and they want a group of people to go back in time, way back to the Tigris and Euphrates River, to figure out how that river ran so that they can bring all of that information forward to their time and reinstitute the Euphrates River Valley. Min puts together a group of people to go back in time, and one of the people that goes back is one of the people from the company that runs the time travel. And really this is about what happens while they are there. What this book does really coolly is that at the start of every section we sort of get the point of view of a king from the era that they have traveled back to, as things are sort of changing and we're learning sort of what signs and stuff are going on, and as he prepares for his own type of adventure going forward. And when the author brings all of that together, it's very clever. This is a fun book. You will fly through it. The story is really interesting. I will say the only problem I had with it is that there are a couple of ideas in the world that I just needed a few more pages on. I didn't quite understand the whole sort of backstory to it. It no way got in the way of the story in it itself, the characters, and enjoying the book. But I think that's sort of a compliment to the author, is when she creates a world that you are so bought into that you want to know more. And the fact that there are sort of these leftover tingles, you're like, oh, I want to know more about that piece. And that was my only complaint, because otherwise I was really enjoying this book. And so that's Gods, Monsters, and the Little Peach by Kelly Robson. Again, this is out from Tor, one of their fantastic novellas. In my last video, I told you guys, it was my book shopping video, I told you that I had already read On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This is a story. So this is fiction technically, but it has a lot of Ocean's life and world in it as well. So it's sort of like a autobiographical fiction where he has written a letter to his mother. The mother cannot read, so it's really a letter to her where he gets an opportunity to discuss their life together, who he is, how he sees her, how he sees different events that have occurred in their lives together. We also get to learn about his sexuality, how he comes to terms, some of the events that happen that make him realize who he is. And we also get to learn this. It's really about the complexity of the relationship between a single mother and a son and all of the different things. The mother character is never over glamorized. You definitely get to see what he loved about his mother and also the troublesome parts of her and some of the decisions and or actions that she takes that can be considered rather at times violent, but he does it in such a way that you understand her very well. She's very well-rounded as a character. Now, Ocean Vuong is a poet by nature. He had a very famous and successful poetry collection come out before this, and you can totally tell that. He is a writer. He writes beautifully. Beautiful turns of phrases, entire sections of this book that you will want to pull out and just munch on. They are so good. My issue with this book is that the language was so beautiful that I felt that there was a distance between myself and the characters. And I never really got involved in the story. I read a review, I want to say by Roxanne Gay, where she said that her issue with the book too is that it lacked sort of a story. And you guys know that I'm not big on plot, but I didn't know exactly where Ocean was going with his narrative. And one of the things is he jumps back. So you'll be doing one section, he'll be talking about one topic. For example, him and the boy that sort of is his sexual awakening. And then the next section, he'll be talking about his mom. And I'll be talking about some interaction he had with her. And then you go back and forth. And the connection between all of that was a little bit lost on me. I would get confused as to what was going on and what he wanted me to gather. I think this book should be read. I think that you guys will love the language. I think it's absolutely beautiful. For me as a reader, it just didn't totally come to terms as a novel. I felt like it was a little bit too disjointed. That being said, there is a story in here where Ocean Vuong talks about his mom who works in a nail salon and a woman who comes in with a prosthetic leg. And the interaction his mom has with this woman once she takes her leg off and wants a pedicure and her legs massaged. It is one of the most powerful little vignettes of literature that I can think of off the top of my head. The section was poignant, beautifully written, and Ocean is a character when he recognizes what his mom is doing for this woman and sort of his respect and the love he has for his mom is so real and tangible. That section alone is worth reading this entire novel. But there's a lot of those little bits and pieces throughout the book, but that is the one that has truly stuck with me as I think about this book as I move forward. I think Ocean Vuong is going to be one of those writers we talk about for a really, really long time. I think this was a great start to a debut novel. I just needed it to be a little more cohesive, but I definitely see the talent. So that is On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. Okay, now here comes an absolute treat of a book. So get out your, whatever you keep your TBR on, pre-order this book if you can. You guys are gonna wanna read this. This book is so good. And that's The Secrets We Kept by Lara Prescot. This is coming out from Knopf, and it arrives on shelves in September of 2019. Now, I believe it's September 3rd. I originally thought it came out closer to the end, but Laura, I believe, told me that it is coming out a bit earlier. And this was one of the Book Expo Buzz books as well. Set slightly after the Second World War, this is really the story of two different groups of people. Okay, first we have Russia. We have Olga. Well, she is the woman who is involved with Boris. Boris, I'm not going to try to say his last name, is the author of the very famous novel, Dr. Zhivago. And she is sort of his muse. And at the beginning of the book, the Soviet Union is very aware of this novel and very aware of sort of its anti-Soviet nature. And so they're trying to get at Boris to get this book to sort of disappear. And the way they do that is they throw her into the gulag. And what happens as once Stalin passes away, she is let out early. And this book is really about getting Dr. Zhivago to the people. So that is one story. The other story is set at the CIA after World War II. What's really clever is that it's set we get involved in the typists, the sort of the collective typing room, all of these women that are sitting around, but do we know everything about them? And one we learn more about is Irene. Irene is hired in, she is a Russian American, and she is brought in and sort of very soon thereafter turned into and is being trained as a spy. She then is taken under the wing, one of a man who she winds up in a relationship with, and then later by a woman who was a spy during World War II, who comes in to sort of make sure that Irene is on the up and up and teach her everything she knows. Their relationship goes down another path, becomes complicated, and I'm not going to tell you guys too much, but it is so well done. And what the US CIA want to do is this whole entire division wants to use literature as propaganda to break up the Soviet Union. So there's this whole sort of thriller aspect as they try to get a hold of a copy of Dr. Zhivago in the original Russian so that they can help publish it in Russia to undermine the Soviet government. This is all based on true stories, you guys. I did a little bit of research of it online. I'm not going to any way try to say that I'm an expert, but it was really clever to see all of these different people, Olga and Boris, and how the story of Dr. Zhivago and the problems. Boris winds up winning the Nobel Prize in Literature. I don't know if you guys know this, which the Soviet Union is not on board with and actually forces him to decline, and his family winds up accepting it 30 some odd years later. And this is really about the power of literature to do more than just tell a story. And that is fantastic. And these two female spies are so cool and so intricate. It is so well done. I flew through this. I loved it. If you are a fan of Transcription by Kate Atkinson, I feel like this book would really speak to you guys. If you like, and I always say World War II or slightly after World War II is one of those time periods where we have a lot of literature right now. Do something different. Do something interesting. The Secrets We Kept by Lara Prescot does something interesting, different, and fantastic. Loved this book. I want it on all of your guys' shelves. You will thank me. Get yourself a copy. So again, The Secrets We Kept by Lara Prescot. This is out from Knopf in September. I want to say September 3rd, 2019. And you guys should get it, and you should talk about it, and then you should email me, and we should talk about it because it's that good. The Secrets We Kept. Definitely want to get it on. So that is 3 more books. 3 more books that I read and reviewed in 2019. All of them definitely worth your time for different reasons. As always, if you are new to my channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming by. I hope you come back for more. If you are a return subscriber, couldn't do this without you. Thank you so very, very much. As always, I encourage you to shop locally, read globally, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!